Welcome to the show, everyone. We are glad you came and are here to talk a little bit about real estate with some of the best people in the business. On the show today, we have me, we have Sandra, we have John, and we also have Don Geisler, who is the designated broker and owner of our real estate company, Indie Realty. And later on, we're going to have Rigo RC from Rigo Pest Prevention. I think I'm losing my mind. I can't think right now.
I think he is too. I'm just going to jump in here.
When you just stopped, I thought all my equipment went dead. I was like, uh-oh.
No, I was thinking, like, how do I want to say it all? I was trying to be all eloquent and have some good words.
I think it was
I'll
great.
just speak.
I thought you did a great job.
How you doing today, Don?
Doing awesome, Raymond. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. It's one of my most fun days of the month, for sure.
Before we get started for all the good stuff, I want to talk about one good thing about the client appreciation that we're having coming up. You want to talk a little bit about that?
We do have an event going on at our new office at 7255 East Tanque Verde Road, and we are inviting folks to come out and just kind of see the place. And we've had our agents have the opportunity to go ahead and reach out and invite people that are close to them, people that are near and dear to them, to come out and just check us out and become part of the neighborhood, part of the community. So looking forward to that very much.
That's a great facility. Can't wait till everybody get a chance to see it. It's really beautiful, and we'd love to take you around, let you see what it's like, and hopefully after seeing the building, you realize that we're ready to go, and we're a great real estate agency.
Yeah, I drove by yesterday, actually. I went to my favorite real estate agent's house and had dinner. And I saw the beautiful sign, the beautiful building. Like, definitely I'm excited. I got the invitation to come get, what's the sweet potato pie? What is it?
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably going to be pumpkin. You
Pumpkin
call
pie.
it
Oh,
whatever you'd like,
yeah.
John. You call it whatever you
my
want.
wife likes the sweet potato pie. My kids like the pumpkin pie. I don't like either, but I'll come get one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there for the pumpkin pie. But it's a beautiful sign, beautiful place. So I'm really excited to see inside myself for sure.
Come on in anytime.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So I asked Don to talk to us a little bit today about just a look back over the year. This is the last time for 2022 that we're going to have Don in the studio. So kind of talk about, which means we have exciting 2023 to look forward to. But let's talk about kind of a look at the past year, which has been a crazy year.
Yeah, it has been a crazy year, but in a lot of ways, it's been kind of simple.
Mm-hmm.
That the first, through May into June, we were sort of really reflecting 2021 very closely, which was overheated, superheated market, a little lean on inventory, everything selling the minute it went on the market, and then really it kind of slowed down and took a breath.
Mm-hmm.
Come June, come July. And it really was palpable. I mean, it was, for me, not really alarming. We saw inflation take over the news.
Right.
There are certain things in our industry, in the real estate industry, that can take over the news cycle that you can be assured has an effect on people's psyche and does permeate into the business and into the market. But, we got kind of very swept up in the interest rates raising a lot, inflation being, very seemingly out of control,
Mm-hmm.
a war going on overseas.
I had forgotten that really did consume a lot of people's time and thoughts.
It really did.
And you also have to look at the stock market too, because it kind of has done the same thing real estate has done, just not known how to respond to what's going on out there.
Yeah, and the stock market becomes very volatile, and rates become volatile, and so really the market definitely took a breath and slowed down. And then there's a couple other factors that are normal, but then kind of exacerbate everything, which is that we had the election going on, and so used to be every 4-year election really affected the real estate market in the later part of that year. And now just things have changed with everybody's connectivity in the world. Everybody's very interested in 2-year elections now, and they become a thing that people stop what they're doing and become involved in. So had an election season going on, and then that has just kind of lent itself into now the holiday season. So we typically have a little bit of a holiday slowdown while people take a breath, get interested in other things. And we've just sort of seen all of it sort of blend into. But the good news is, even though we feel like we're in a holiday, quote unquote, slowdown type of time, people are focused on real estate still. We're having lots of conversations. We're answering lots of questions. We're having lots of people say after the first of the year, we're getting back into it. And, by then, hopefully inflation will start to become under control, or at least become part of the norm, which we could talk about a little bit, but the election, even though elections are never over anymore, but the actual election itself will be behind us, and people will tend to refocus back on what they're trying to accomplish in their life, which is really good.
Right.
Really good when the people that we serve peel their eyeballs off of the clickbait and get back to real life. It's good stuff.
I will say, when I was first stepping into the industry, the training that I received from the person that hired me was, we work all the holidays. Everybody else takes them off, and we work. But when it came to the election year, it was like, go on vacation. Nobody wants to be here as we get closer and closer to the elections. And if your signs are out, they're just going to be amongst the hundreds of other signs. So it's a great time to go on vacation.
Interesting.
And nothing makes your phone ring more than going on vacation. So
it's so true. It's so true. But yeah, I mean, the election phenomenon, it's always interesting that running up to the election, all of a sudden people's attention kind of turned toward it. And, half the people say, if it ends this way, I would never buy a house. And the other half say, well, if it ends this way, I would never buy a house.
Right.
So everybody takes a breath, and whatever happens. And then pretty quickly everybody says, I think I'll get back to my life now. And it's really good when that happens. And we're there, and we spend a lot of time and effort with our outreach.
Right.
Reaching out to the people that we know, reaching out to the community, letting people know we're here when you're ready. We're always ready to answer questions, and we'll guide you through there's nothing out there that we can't guide people through. I mean, we have seen it all.
Well, I have a teaser question that maybe we'll have you answer coming out of the break. What are something that buyers can expect, and even sellers can expect, from the market now that election has happened? Things will probably be calming down. What can they expect from the market, and what should they do as a response to it? And we got probably about 20 seconds till we go in the break. So I guess you can give maybe a teaser answer before we go into it.
Say nothing.
All right. Well, the boss has spoken, so y'all get nothing. No, there's a lot. I mean, we've been talking about just shifting mindsets, and I'm a real big mindset guy, and I don't like the bingo. I won't repeat certain words, that rhyme with shifting or synonyms for shifting.
Right.
But mindset is something that needs to change. And we'll talk a little bit about mindset, because I think it's important.
Okay, let's go ahead to the break. We are here with Don Geisler, who is our owner and designated broker for Indie Realty. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us today. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show on KVOA 1030 AM. We'll be back after the break, everyone.
I Am Real Estate Show, brought to you by Ray Smith and Sandra Johnson with Indie Realty.
We're back to the show. In case you were wondering, you are not listening to KVOA. You're listening to KVOI. My wife was nice enough to remind me. I didn't know what my alphabets are. So we're back on the show. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show with Sandra, Ray, and John. And we also have our designated broker, Don Geisler, who's the president of Indie Realty. We were talking about expectations from the market, and you gave a teaser beforehand. If you want to go ahead and elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what's important is to not buy into misconceptions. I mean, nothing has changed 180 degrees. And so I think that buyers, we still need to be realistic that, there is more inventory on the market. Houses do take a little bit longer to sell, but we're not in the fire sale scenario. Sellers still have expectations that they're going to get the price that they want. And we have to, it's a negotiation process. It really is. And so, I think that setting expectations, having the right expectation that it is still a process, that home prices have not plummeted.
Right.
And that there's a process that we have to go through. And for sellers, we have to negotiate up front. And I see articles that say sellers should be, have the expectation to continue to negotiate through the process as we get through inspections and repairs and stuff like that. So, just being prepared for the normal process and don't think that something has changed or a pendulum has massively swung in one direction or the other.
I think it's to remind everybody that it's a team going through this, and we're always looking for the win-win situation, win-win scenario. I think most time people realize at this time the seller think, I got to win, or the buyer think I got to win. When we go into any transaction, me and my wife, we're always looking to find a way. What is the best way that everybody wins? Win-win. A win-win situation is good for everybody because afterwards, they are your clients after this. So you got to remember that they're going to be your friends. They're going to be the people you rely on after that.
I agree. I think that if you're going into a transaction looking to take advantage of someone and for you to come out on top, it's just not the kind of transaction that we're looking for. We really want, if somebody wants to buy a house, somebody wants to sell a house, we're looking for a scenario where both people get what they need.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it can be a real eye-opening process in that, I don't think either side can really be bullied at the moment. And I don't ever think that a bully mindset is beneficial in any phase of life, to be honest with you. But there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be processes along the way that we have to get through. And it is not a one-sided deal. It is not a one-sided deal. And so, I think that the greatest agents understand that and say what you're saying, that we look for a win-win. We advocate for our clients, of course, but there are win-win scenarios, and everything does not have to be super adversarial.
Right.
And again, set the right expectations.
And I think they need to realize that we do advocate. If you're our buyer, we're going to advocate to make sure that you're always in the best situation. It's all about the thing I kind of remember about is that they still have to make a decision. You, as our client, you get to make the final decision whether you like or dislike, and you've taught us that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I do want to kind of talk a little bit. I was reading an article today about interest rates because interest rates are the one buzzword that do tend to have an impact on a market. They are the things out there that people start talking about, and right or wrong, you do see them actually impact activity in the market. And so they're significantly up over where they were 2021, but they're a little bit less volatile right now. Rates have been very volatile, but I just read an article and literally the article said interest rates may cool off and sit still for a while in December, and they may even go down. And then by the end of the article, it said, or they may go up. So, so you don't really know. I mean, I think there are a lot of factors, and there's a lot that goes into why interest rates are where they are right now. But one of the things I want to point out to people is, yes, they're still historically good. That doesn't matter if you're not getting a payment that you don't like. But I really, when we talk about mindset, would love for everybody to think about when you're making an investment in your home. There are certain markets where you're like, I'm looking to buy a home, and it's not a piggy bank, it's not an ATM, it's where I'm going to, live my life. And we can still get that accomplished for you. And rates right now they're not as low as they were, but they're still very, very good in the context of what we do. And also, rates are not permanent. Nothing is permanent, and things are always very, very cyclical. And there's always a refi boom that follows when the rates go up. Rates will inevitably, potentially, I shouldn't say inevitably, but they can come back down. And so there's lots of things that we can do with rates. And even right up front when you're in your transaction, there's lots of tricks that we can do with rates to help you out if we have lenders that know what they're doing and have the appropriate programs. So don't want anybody to be scared off and just shut down, because we can talk anybody through almost any situation.
Overview of the market you were talking about.
Yeah, the overview of kind of what the past year has looked like. I know we're not seeing a huge dip in pricing. No. And when I talk about having the right expectations, I think that's,
important that prices are not expected to dip. You know, most analysts are saying that appreciation will still continue, just at a much slower rate.
Right.
That is not synonymous with a dip or a crash or a bubble or anything like that. So, you know, it's like I said, be very, for us in the industry, January 1st is always interesting. You know, in that right now it just feels calm.
Yes.
And it's a very interesting calm in that, for me, it just feels like our normal holiday season as far as the real estate market goes. None of our lives are calm right now, but you know, the market just seems calm. It's not a panic. It's not off a cliff. It hasn't stopped. It's just in kind of it feels like it's in its normal cyclical like breath.
Right.
And January 1st, we're expecting lots of activity, lots of great things, and then we ramp up. You know, we really kick off New Year January 1st as far as the real estate market goes, and I think we're gonna have a really good late winter and spring.
Can the numbers that you're looking at right now, talking about 2022, give us any kind of idea what we can expect in 2023? The numbers seem to be so different from January to June and from July to December.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that nobody has a crystal ball. Just like I told you about the article where it says rates may stabilize. And it said they may go down, they may stay, or they may go up. So, yeah, well, thanks for that. That was good. So I don't think that there's a predictor because there was just so much unprecedented stuff at once.
Right.
And I just mean all these different factors giving people a lack of confidence at the same time. Inflation, war, everything, gas price. I mean, just
gas.
There's
oh my gosh.
so much.
We're not
that,
even talking about gas prices.
Yeah, and then the
like
election.
We were.
So, in my opinion, things should trend up. I mean, something giant in the country and the world can happen tomorrow for all we know. But
Sure.
there were just a lot of factors that really do lend themselves to cooling off the market a little bit. So, and some of them, like I said, are in the rearview mirror. The election is over. It may meant to be done, but it's over. You know, the inflation is starting to, you know, theoretically, I'm reading, come down a little bit more.
Good.
And it's a new norm where people get used to, prices are higher and that's just the new norm, you know.
Right.
So,
Well, hey, are you still looking for good agents?
oh gosh, we're always looking for great agents at Indy Realty. So you can always reach me, Don Geisler, 520-869-2376. We're very proud. John, thank you so much for mentioning the office. Feel free to stop by,
absolutely.
7255 East Tanca Road. And we've got a great model going.
Thanks, boss, for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Well, on the other side, we'll have Rigo RC from Rigo Pest Prevention. Talk to you in a little bit. Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show on KBOI 1030 AM. We're here with the owner of Rigo Pest Prevention, our buddy Rigo Arce. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, everyone. Doing real well, and happy holidays. And can I say it? Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
I'm going to say it with passion. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, yeah.
Now we're talking about the holiday season. People are now talking about getting their lights out of the attic and going into the garage and going upstairs and going to things about that. And they're taking those lights out and started getting ready. You got something you want to remind those guys?
I do. You know, we hear a lot of screams this time of year. And it's not because they spotted Santa or something. But there are things lurking in the attic sometimes that they're not aware of, or maybe they've got things down in a crawl space or maybe a storage room. Garage, very popular, right? And so as people are getting out those Christmas decorations, they see, you know, rodent droppings, they see termites or termite damage, or boxes have been chewed on, or just, you know, cobwebs everywhere. You know, these are places we don't typically go in throughout the year, right? You know, it's the Christmas corner or the Christmas room. And so many times we do get calls right about now where people spot things and they say, you know, I had no idea. Could you come and take a look? So my encouragement is, you know, this is a great opportunity to get that free inspection, you know, from any pest control company, right? The room is empty. The shelf is cleared. You got into the storage room. Maybe you moved things away from the garage wall.
Right.
Great time to get a professional set of eyes onto that area, you know, make sure there isn't something there. Yeah.
I'm going to take that one step further. A lot of you may not know out there that are listening, but I came from the storage industry. So a lot of people that are doing these massive displays are actually storing that stuff in self-storage.
Yeah. That is true. Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about getting some pest prevention in there while they're in there and they're kind of clearing out that storage unit.
Insects and mice, they don't need a lot of room. I had a customer once get a box of shoes in the mail delivered, UPS. And when she opened the box, there was a mouse nest with a mama and some pups. We call them pups. Literally living in the shoebox.
Wow.
And they chewed all the paper. They even actually nibbled on the shoe a little. No kidding. I'm not even making this up. The point being is you're right. They can live in the smallest area and they don't need much. And you never know what you might. So be careful when you're going into that storage room.
Yeah, and that responsibility is on the renter.
Yeah,
to
so
protect
a storage
their
unit.
items.
Yeah. Usually storage companies, what they do is they hire a pest control company just to treat the perimeter, but they don't go into the units. I have had storage units, and what I typically do is lay down a whole bunch of insect glue traps. These glue boards, if you would. I put them all inside the storage unit, so this way, every time I come and take something out or put something back in the unit, I take a look at those glue boards, make sure to see what I caught anything. That's a good idea.
Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
We were thinking about that, and I think that's pretty good. One thing I want people to realize is how much damage a termite can do to your neighbor if it goes undetected and untreated. Mm-hmm. And it really does destroy the mechanism of the wood to where it disintegrates.
Yep, it sure does.
And that just scares the living crap out of me. If you sit there and see that happen, it's just not an amazing event. It's an event that reminds you that you should be more careful.
Yeah, you don't realize it. And, people they'll do is get a home and start remodeling it, and they start pulling off that drywall, and before they pull it off, the wall looks perfect. Everything's clean, pristine. Then they tear that drywall down, and they're shocked to the damage that's in some wall studs and so forth. Unfortunately, you can't see what you can't see.
Right.
And that's why that continual annual inspection. Get someone to look at it once a year at least. I'm actually a big proponent of 2 times a year. I like a fall, early winter inspection right after the monsoon rains, and I also like a early or late spring inspection after the winter rains. I think those are 2 great times to do an inspection. Termites, they are tiny. They're just so little, but boy, the colony, once they're happy, they find that buffet, forget it. They can pulverize a piece of timber.
I think there might be a misconception out there too that if you have a slump block house, that you're not really going to have a problem with termites.
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, I hear a lot, not only that, but people that have steel framing, metal framing. Typically what is not metal or brick is going to be your rafters, your roof joists, the roof decking that holds the roof and the tile or shingles, whatever you got. And then, of course, the interior walls. Even on a slump block home, block brick, your interior walls are typically framed, so in the end, it doesn't matter. Termites don't know it's block, it's wood, it's this, they just simply come up. They're blind, they're foraging, they're looking. And once they get in, they're not going to eat a block, but they keep moving. They do not stop until lucky day. They hit something that's got wood, cellulose. Yeah.
I love the way you describe it. It's so like our termite is like, buffet, tumultuous yumminess.
Right, it is.
He brings a passion to this topic.
It's just
that
like,
I've
I
never
am the
seen.
termite.
Just
I
think
get
of
into
your
his mind.
favorite dessert, and there you go. That's a piece of wood to a termite. Yeah.
When you see damage and then damage is treated and taken care of, how soon again should they come back and have you guys check it again to make sure that nothing else has happened concerned?
Again, I'm a big proponent of that 6-month period.
Okay, not like immediately after.
No. There's no need to come back right away. You're not typically not even going to see anything. But again, every 6 months, minimally 1 year. For those of you that are listening, at least once a year. Yeah.
I haven't done that, Rigo.
Uh-oh. Well, listen, I want you to have me over just when you're putting dinner out.
Just roofing.
Okay? And I'll inspect before or after. I'm not picky. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm
you
one
know
of
what you're
those.
doing. Yeah, they whip together a pretty good dinner.
I bet they do.
Do you guys send out reminders to your clients and stuff
We
like
do.
that?
We have a program where they're notified 30 days before their anniversary, the month of their anniversary, and then
nice.
another 30 days after. So they get 3 notices. And we want to make sure we get that inspection in for them. And if they refuse, we have a system. We make a note, customer declined. keeping up your warranty is two big things. One, pay for it, right? You pay for your warranty like an insurance policy.
Right.
And then number two, take advantage of the inspections. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have actually seen a home. It was an older home. They had a termite warranty. I'm going to go with a decade, at least 10 years. And there was a beam in the bedroom that was completely eaten up.
Wow.
And I'm like, they actually came out and replaced it because it had been under warranty for 10 years. So, well, we look forward to more stories after the break.
Yeah, termite stories.
If you're looking to buy or sell your home or have any question concerning real estate, we would love to help you. Please call the Johnson Smith team at 520-850-125 or 520-904-7711. I got my phone number right this time.
But you got mine wrong. 850-1725.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic.
The
I can't help
Johnson
it, guys.
Smith team. Every time I hear it, it sounds like a superhero squad. Johnson Smith team, here to save the day.
We're back on the other side with Rigo from Rigo Pest Preventions. Hey, everybody, thank you for listening to the I Am Real Estate Show. We're here with our guest, Rigo Arce of Rigo Pest Prevention. And are you still doing okay, buddy?
We're doing fine. We're enjoying the visit.
How's the business going? And you're going into the commercial world, so how's that working?
Yeah,
for you?
we got some things going. We just put
Great.
together, well, I shouldn't say finished. We're in the process of putting together a really beautiful presentation piece that's actually going to be something online. So
Wow.
our clients, when they receive our estimates, it'll be a link. They go online and it's presented in almost like a PowerPoint presentation. And we could do it right there at the table with a tablet, or we can email it. They click on the link, and it is going to be top shelf. Pictures, videos. Yeah, we're really excited about
Is your
that.
son still doing all that?
Yeah, we've got him doing all that stuff. He is
Yeah.
so talented. And I try to give my 2 cents on things, and he looks at me with this look, Dad, I got it. I got it.
Stay in your lane, Dad.
Stay in your
Stay
lane.
in your lane.
So I just, back away.
But I'm not surprised it's top shelf. Everything Rigo Pest Prevention is pretty top shelf.
Right
so,
on.
Yeah.
Right on. Appreciate that.
We would expect nothing less than that. So, hey, we were talking a little bit about termites in the first half, but kind of shifting now to weed prevention.
Yeah. I was in a presentation once, and my opening was, I do weed. and I paused, and I had these looks at me, and I thought about it. I said, no, wait a minute, time out. We do weeds, plural. I had to qualify that. And somebody shouted, hey, no judgment here. But no, we do provide weed control. The big game there, just like in the name of my company, Prevention, we promote a pre-emergent application. We had some pretty decent rains just recently. But as they're going to settle down a little bit, this is a great time before we really get into those winter rains in January, February, to get a pre-emergent down. And by design, it's a broadcast spray all through that area that you don't want any unwanted weeds to grow. And when those winter rains come, it just forces that product deeper into the soil, gets watered in real well. And then as that spring comes on, those germinating seeds, well, they don't germinate anymore. Pre-emergent prevents those seeds from germinating. And then, of course, there's a topical application. So if you do get some unwanted weeds that do pop up,
right,
we guarantee the work. And so a good weed company is going to come in and follow up every so often and treat those little weeds that do pop up. So weed control is such a big deal here.
Is there a warranty associated with that, or it's just a matter of just getting that pre-emergent?
Yeah, there's a warranty. They vary. They can be anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, depending on the size of the yard, how much people pay. But a standard weed control program is a quarterly treatment with 2 pre-emergent applications a year.
Okay.
That's a fairly standard program. Yeah.
I was just thinking, and we were talking about, a while back, we were talking about rodents and stuff. How does a person know if you have a rodent or you have a rodent nest near your neighborhood?
Yeah, the telltale signs are number one. It's the droppings, and Ray, listen, the salty ones are fresh. So I'm giving you advice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good to know that.
We just lost Ray.
I'm just saying, so salty or fresh.
Yeah.
No, but you
Gotta be a real foodie to know that.
You get these droppings. And, should I tell you about the story with the raisin and the new employee? No, never mind. So anyway, they leave their signs. They leave their calling card, and that's these wonderful droppings. They also sometimes you see damage. Urine is a big one. A lot of people see these little yellowing and white sort of stainings on their patio. So there are ways to tell, and just like it is with termites, you start to see the little exit holes, or you see a little ripple in the baseboard or a door trim. With other insects, you see their wings, you see their legs. You see a spider web. Each insect leaves his little calling card. And that's kind of the.
And are they seasonal? When the rodents start getting their nest and stuff, it's a seasonal thing.
They're pretty much year round, frankly. But right now, as I might have mentioned in the last program, they're definitely ramped up this time of year. A lot of the food sources are dying out in the desert, so they're getting, they're needing nutrition. Water is a big deal. It has been dry up to the point we just got that rain. But they need water. Well, we've got water at these beautiful homes of ours.
Is there anything else that I think we were talking a little bit about maybe preparing for bat season?
Yeah, I wanted to speak on that because bats are increasing in terms of harborage. More and more communities are going up into the foothills, up into Saddlebrook, the hills of the Tortolita Mountains, right? And we've got these bats that live in these caves. Well, they come out and they feed at night. And every now and then, they will make your home a place of harborage. And so this time of year is a lot of the Mexican bats, the bats that are way to the south, they're on their way back now, right? It's going to be that time of year. And what's going to happen is they'll end up spending their time on our homes. Before they get here, this is a great time to seal up those openings underneath the eaves, all those different fascia boards and cracks in the block and up in the tile where you've seen bats or you've got all these droppings that have occurred all summer long. Right now is a great time to get all that sealed up so when the bats come, they don't nest there, they find somewhere else to nest. So if anybody's curious about that, we do a free inspection. A good company will, right? And we'll evaluate and see if we can see those spots, those signs, those areas, and we can promote a sealant so that'll stop them from nesting there.
How large of a crevice do they need?
Very small, 1/4 of an inch. It's amazing how they flatten themselves, go up into that little void. And if you shine your flashlight right straight up and look up, sometimes you can actually see them just hanging up there, waiting for the sun to go down. It's fascinating.
For those that have the opportunity, watch this on YouTube on KVOI so you can see the way that Rigo looks like a real professional shine his flashlight up in there like a special forces pest prevention guy.
Got that elbow angle going, right?
I like it.
The thing I love the most about your company is that when you listen to you talk, it's always about prevention.
Yeah.
I hear free inspection for this, free inspection for that.
Yep.
Your thing is you want people to prevent any damage coming to their homes beforehand,
Absolutely.
and then use you to maintain the servicing.
Absolutely. You and I talk a lot about fitness. I'm a big fitness fan, and a friend of mine said this to me once: you're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later. When it comes to fitness, I'd rather pay a little bit on my fitness program and a whole lot, and not pay for the medical bills, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, with pest control, it's the same thing. A termite treatment is a far cheaper remedy than replacing the entire wall, And so, prevention is the name of the game. And so, and here's the cool part. It's a free inspection. Again, a good company, most companies out there, I always like to include the whole community. It's not just Rigo, okay? But the whole pest control community, most of us offer free inspections. Take advantage of it. Get somebody to give you an opinion and maybe get a second or third opinion. But have someone look, point some things out, and make an informed decision. That's the name of the game, but prevention is key.
Are you recruiting right now?
You looking?
I'm always looking to work with you. Yes.
Yeah.
You better believe it. I get a chance to work with Rigo. Yes.
We've been real fortunate. We just picked up a few more. We just hired our 25th employee. Yeah. Every time I walk in here, I'm hiring somebody.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me tell you.
Show.
I'm letting everybody know he was here.
counter.
He was here last month, and last month the number was 20. I've been keeping track. Now it's 25.
I don't know. All right,
30 days left.
It might be, but we're good now. But I always love interviewing. Little professional tip: the best time to interview is when you don't need someone. That's the best time to interview.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely, because there's no stress. In fact, I love interviewing people that are employed, because they're employed. I don't have a need. but we become friends. And when suddenly something changes, whether I have a need or they're discontent or whatever, if it's a good fit, I call it a bench. I've got somebody on the bench. So we're always looking to meet folks.
Great.
If anyone's ever interested, they're looking to make a career change, they find our company appealing, certainly give me a call, look us up. We love meeting people, even if we don't have an immediate need.
I think the way you carry the company is very impressive, because when we talk on this show, you always say about the industry. It's never really about Regal Pest Prevention. If
Right.
you need me or anyone else, as long as you're doing what needs to be done to take care of your home, is the most important thing.
Absolutely, yeah. I always like telling, I'll meet real estate agents like you folks, and I'll say, listen, you might be happy with who you have, but I'd love to be a second option.
Right.
I don't need to be your number one. And when I talk to somebody and I'm giving them an estimate, when I leave their home, like I did just the other night, I did a late estimate about 5 p.m. And I told the lady, listen, you need this done. If you do not choose my company, number one, I appreciate the opportunity, okay? But number two, you need to hire someone. I don't want to see that escalate any further than it is. And she understood that. And so she hired me, by the way.
Duh. I just got a note here I wanted to talk about. Do you know that in Campbell and River, underneath the bridge, that's where the bats come out? And they come out
Yes.
Okay, have you seen it any times?
I actually have. Another one that is pretty phenomenal is the Pantano Wash.
Whoa.
That's actually, in terms of Tucson, that's the notorious one. That one there, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Where at in Pantano?
The bridge by the hotel on Broadway near Pantano. If you're familiar with, what is it? I don't know if it's a Hilton, but the Pantano Wash runs through there.
That's not too far from you guys, huh?
Not too far.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it's close to my mom. Really close to my mom.
I went and saw one of the things. I saw the one at Campbell and River.
Yeah.
It's great to look at, but once
Yeah.
they're gone, you're like, oh, they're going somewhere.
Yeah,
they're going to go eat. Hopefully
they're going to
at my
go
house.
eat. They're going to go eat all night long. Yep. They're great pest control agents, and that's why we recommend sealing things up now before they get here into your home. We want them to be around and do their business elsewhere.
You know what I love about you, Rigo, is that, and it's not the only thing, but you don't hate pests. You don't come in here like out to just smash and crush every pest. You just want them to stay in the desert where they belong.
You know, I appreciate that credit, but I've got to admit, bed bugs, look out.
I'm coming for you.
I'm
It's on
murdering
site.
you.
There's always an
telling you. That's right.
exception.
Death to bed bugs.
How do people in the air get a hold of you, Rigo?
Hey, fantastic. Our phone number at Rigo Pest Prevention is 520-744-6177. And then the website is simply rigopest.com. Rigopest.com. That easy.
Take us out, Sandra.
All right. Well, we're glad you spent some time with us today. We would like to finish the show by thanking Horizon Inspections, Indy Realty, Inspired Life Mortgage, Rigo Pest Prevention, Atomic Nutrition, and Sweet Little Chefs.
See you next week.
Yeah.